Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I've got a different type of makeup video for you again. If you remember, a while back I did a video all about different types of eyeliner. And I also created a poll later that week of what kind of videos of like makeup basics you'd like to see. Like eye focused ones or face focused ones. Or both, and the option both won, so here we are with a face focused makeup basics video. Yeah. As you can probably tell from the title, we're going to be comparing cream products and powder products for shaping and blush, highlight, that kind of thing today. Just thought it'd be nice to like show you the difference, and like really it all comes down to personal preference. But really just tell you the difference and how to apply them. So we're going to get all into that today, so let's get on to it. Okay, first off, just thought I'd just, do a little introduction first before we actually move on to applying the products. What I did basically is I did one half of my face with cream products and then the other half of my face with powder products I mean. Just so you can really tell the difference. I tried to keep the colors similar of all the products, like the same shade of blush and stuff like that. Just so you can really see the difference or lack thereof at the end. Also keep in mind, just as with the eyeliner video, this is not a specific product review. This is literally just a comparison between creams and powders. Just because, like I don't really know all the stick contours in the world. Basically, so my stick contour is, for example, one by KIKO, but like one by NYX might be way different. So, I can't really tell you how every single stick contour is going to perform. We're just going to keep it at the average stick contour and the average cream blush, the average cream highlighter and that sort of thing. And, with the powder, same thing. Just keep it at the basic product and really compare the type of product rather than the actual specific brand name product. So there's that. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say beforehand. Let's actually move on to applying it all. So, we're starting off with a bare face, obviously, and wet hair because I was walking in the rain before I filmed this at work, because that happens. Anyway, I'm just gonna start off with the foundation. I'm gonna do most of this part off screen because really, it doesn't matter really. You can do foundation base, you can do BB cream, you can also just use concealer and do the rest of it on your bare skin as long as your face looks the way you want it to look for the particular look you're gonna do. I'm also going to do a bit of concealer around my eyes just because I want a little bit more coverage there personally. And also some eyebrow plumper because I felt like my eyebrows were disappearing. But yeah, we're all set to start on the contouring. I'm gonna start obviously with the cream base because this gotta happen before powder. I'm using a contour stick, pick one with a cool tone obviously. And I'm also using a brush that's very, very dense. Extremely soft but very dense, so it really almost works like a sponge. You can actually use a beauty sponge, but admittedly, half the time I'm too lazy to actually dampen my sponge, so I usually use brushes, so I figured I'd just show it to you how I usually do it, which is with a brush. And basically I just tap it on, try to get the most product in the deepest part of the contour area, in this case the cheekbone. And just keep tapping, 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 tapping with the brush to blend it together with the foundation without removing the foundation in the process. You don't want to rub it too harsh. Then I'm also taking a little bit below my jaw here to contour that too. And a little bit on my forehead. And again, just tap it gently. Don't rub the brush over your face because you're just going to remove your base that way. You want it to blend, not to remove. Then for my nose I'm using a smaller brush. This is also a softer brush, so it applies less product because on my nose especially, it's easy to go wrong. It's in the center of the face. I don't want to ruin the entire makeup with it. So it's just safer to apply multiple layers, multiple very sheer layers. And just build up the coverage rather than to go in with a lot of product and then apply too much product and be stuck with a messed up contour. Then for blush, admittedly this blush is ancient. That's one thing I gotta mention. Again, I'm using a very dense brush by the way. A smaller one obviously than for the contour. But yeah, anyway, one thing I gotta mention with contour products that are cream, like blush, well, any cream products basically, is that they expire quicker. So don't do as I do, don't keep them around for 12.5 centuries. Just toss them once they're like too old. Yeah, that's also a thing. Powders just expire way less quickly. Here I'm just using my foundation brush to touch up the contour and blush I just did. It's really easy. And then it's time for some highlighter. I'm only using a very tiny amount, again on a small brush. This is actually the same brush as I used for the nose contour. I just wiped it off on my face halo. And just gently tap on the highlighter. As with anything else of the cream side. Then after that I'm going to move on to powder. If you have oily skin, I do recommend using powder. I have oily skin and I just need powder because otherwise I'm going to turn into a disco ball and not in a cute way. If you have dry skin, however, you can also get away easily with just setting the areas where you might get creasing, like below the eyes. Maybe the T-zone if you do get shiny there. But you can totally get away with like not using as much powder as I'm using if you have dry skin. Just try to figure out what works for your particular skin type. But yeah, then we have the cream contour side fully done. As you can see, quite natural. And now on to the powder side. For that we're going to use the powder first, because you do want to, even if you have dry skin, you do want to set the areas at least where you're going to apply a blush or a contour, because otherwise it will get very, yeah, just muddy looking, which isn't cute. At least it's not as usually what I go for. But yeah, for that purpose I usually go for a, well, I use a fan brush a lot. I don't always use the fan brush for this, but generally speaking I just use a brush that has very long hair and isn't too dense, because I want to build this up and I don't want to have a dark brown stripe randomly on my face. Also I feel like very soft face brushes are just better for blending out powders. So yeah, whatever brush you use one that's not too dense and one that is very soft. Other than that, the entire contour thing of the contour areas and all is exactly the same. I just apply it where I always apply my contour, blend it out, and that's it. That makes no difference to me between cream and powder. You're just applying color. So yeah. Then for my nose, again I'm going to use a tinier brush. This one, again, just with the face brushes, is, you know, well, my nose is part of my face actually. You get what I mean. This brush is also less dense and very soft. And yeah, again, just as with the cream contour side, you better, you know, just use layers rather than to apply a whole lot at once and then be stuck with something you can't blend out anymore. For blush, the same thing. I'm using a smaller brush than I did for the contour because it's just a bit safer, because otherwise I'll get it all over my face. But it's not too dense and it is very soft, so I can easily blend it, and I'm only using a little bit and building it up. Admittedly I did use a little bit more than I usually would, because I really wanted it to look the same as it does on the other side, just so you can compare easier at the end than if I were to use a completely different color of blush on the powder side. And obviously at this point the base is set, but you can actually still go over it with a powder brush to blend it out even more and to just sharpen up the jawline there a little bit again. Then for highlights, the closest I could find to the cream side was my Unicorn Heart highlighter. And I'm just applying that in the exact same spot. With highlight especially, it's going to look more harsh if it's a powder. But you can also go over it with a damp beauty sponge just to soften it a little if you want. And then here is the powder side completely done. A little bit more heavy, but I like it as well. And here is the final comparison. So yeah, I gotta say I like both, but just look at both and yeah, pick what you prefer. So that basically is the entire video, and all there's left now is the conclusion, which is basically, well, like I said all the way at the beginning, you know, it is also a matter of what works well for you, what you prefer. Me personally, I have two reasons why I usually use powder, contour, blush and highlight. First off, I always immediately after concealer and all, like after foundation and concealer, powder my face, and only then I remember, oh wait, I could have done a cream contour. But it's too late then, because you typically don't want to apply a cream product over top of powder, because it usually won't blend all that nicely. And the second reason is that I have oily skin, so I just prefer to really pack on the powder so it keeps me matte for long enough, because I'll go glowy after like 5 minutes anyway. So yeah, the more matte I start out, the less disco ball I get throughout the day. So that's another reason why I personally prefer powder products. However, that does mean that if you have very dry skin, it might actually be ideal for you to use powder or to use cream products instead of powder products, just because with cream products you can just powder it lightly afterwards and you won't have your skin be as dry as it otherwise would be. So if you have dry skin, then cream products might really be a very good solution for you. So yeah, that's basically my conclusion. I hope it was useful. If you did enjoy this video, please click the like button. It would really help me out. And if you want to see more tutorials, you can always subscribe to my channel. I actually mostly do eye looks on here. For now, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day and I hope to see you next time. Bye!